Welcome, everyone. Welcome. welcome, welcome. Okay, I believe we got YouTube going. Now we have to get uh, Facebook going. Okay, what's wrong with the Facebook? Let's see here. Advanced setting, persistent. All right, we're working now on that one. There's too much requirement for Facebook, guys. Oops. All right, hello everyone. Hello. Welcome to Daily Trades by Rin. All right, I'm gonna wait for everyone to come in. Gonna wait for everyone to come in right now. All right, guys, we're gonna start right now. All right. So, hello everyone. Welcome to Daily Trades by Rin. My name is Rin. Today is July 8th, 2026. Okay. So, first and foremost, start off with my chart here. Um, right there, you can see it. So I went in, I woke up, and then you can see my account crashed because I had my contract overnight, which is not a good thing to do. Um, and I had it for a position to go um, long, which is to go, you know, we're going up, right? Um, but my price was too high. So when it crashed, it actually yesterday it was good price, but when overnight it crashed, it went way too low. I think it went all the way to like 38, 39 or something like that, 730 on the SPY, right? We're working with SPY ETF. So it went to like 738, 39, maybe even lower. I don't know. Um, and I saw the crash, and I was like, dang it. I got my position overnight. But fortunately, I woke up and it was around 7:40. So I was like, that's not too bad, right? But it already took a chunk of my contract, which is it was $50, so it already took like half. But I couldn't even pull out half, right? So I actually pulled out more than half, which was I was at a loss at like 30% of my contract, which it was $50. So I lost about 30 bucks, right? I was able to save like 20 bucks. So that's what you gotta do. You gotta cut your loss, right? So I cut my loss there, um, which is okay because at the end of it all, I gained it all back plus another 4%. So, and let me tell you how I did it, right? So the whole day, not the whole day, whatever time I woke up. I woke up around 8 or 9 or something like that, right? By that time, I already passed my 4 hour time frame, and we were just working our way back up. So the whole time I was just playing catch up, right? So I bought in a few contracts or opened up a few contracts to go long again, right? But this time at a lower level. I just rolled it up every, on every buy signal, right? Um, so probably one right here. Let me show you. Technically probably bought one right here at whatever price that was, um, and then probably played around right like right here. Oops. Let me. This sucks. Right there you go. Always gotta grab my pencil again every time. It's kind of annoying. Probably again right here, and then I did it. I know I did it 3 times, right? So probably another time right down here somewhere. And the reason why I was able to do it is because, see, when these little candlesticks right here, right? If you look at it in the 1 minute frame, um, it it does present itself like um, in a movement where um, it has a very big range and a long period of time for you to actually move in and out as far as scalping goes, right? So, like, let's say I would get it right here, and then I will close out right here, right? So, wherever my new buy signal is, right? I'll probably get it right here. Let's go to the next one. Well, my markings weren't really that accurate, right? So I think I got in right here, and then I just waited for it to close me out right there, right? But like every time those ranges happen, I gain about like $5 to $10, right? So that's how I got my all my money back plus some. So I was able to get like um 30 um dollars plus an extra, I believe like $6 7, right? So technically, I think yesterday I was at like what, 120 or something like that. Right now I'm at 160 something, right? So yeah, I'm pretty much almost back to where I was. I was at 170 um, initially at the beginning of the whole thing, right? So I've been doing this for about probably 40 days now. I don't know, after 30 days I stopped counting. But yeah. So even with this massive crash right here, um, that's all again. This massive crash right here, right? For example, right? Let's say my sell signal is right here. I would short stock, and then I would open up, and then I would would close the stock right here, right? Or the contract right here. Or it'll open up the contract, close the contract right here, right? And see how it keeps on going. So and keep on dropping right now after hours. That's insane. Dang, dude. Um, where's the market price right now? It's not showing it. Yeah, market price 44. That's not bad. 44. I already actually went all the way before the end of the market to what? Who? 546. Yeah, yeah. That's to me, it's like it was just playing a game. Um, and so $30 a day for just sitting in front of the computer is not bad. Right? Now it's better if it's not crashing hard like this. If it's crashing hard like this, it's very hard to try to figure out, um, the time frame for you to get in and out, right? But if it slowly moves up and down, right, it has this really weird um, thing to it where you can spend like a good 30 minutes watching it go up and down. I mean, it is kind of annoying, but it gives you an opportunity to like really pay attention to like where it settles and where it doesn't, right? And so you're just like, okay, I'll just wait for it to settle again. I'll just wait. Look how many times you can actually open and close. Right? If you open right here, um, do it again. If you open right here, right, you can close right here. Oops. close right here for the max. You can close like here, you know. You close right here, you know what I mean? So yeah, you know, and mind you, right? If you're buying it um in the money or no, out of the money, right? Well, technically I bought it in the money, right? But I get to see it go out of the money, right? And that's what you want to do. You want to see it go out of the money, right? If you do the things that I'm doing, right? So if you watch it go out of the money, you're like, okay, positive, 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 positive. Yeah, just how much of a positive you want to pull out. Usually I'm aiming for like $10, right? $10, $10, $10, right? So I'm sitting here just taking $10 on every trade. Mind you, it is when you open and close the position, it does take take some time out of your watching or whatever, right? Which is you got to know how to move in and out of your charts too, because once I go in the contract here, my whole chart changes to the contract chart, right? So I'm just like, dang, dude, you know, and then yeah, but in any case, that's how I was able to do it, guys. Um, I'm going to delete delete all of these. Yeah. Um, but yeah, that's essentially what I did, and like I said, I can do this all day long, right, without it affecting my account. So, I mean, it only sucks when like I have to correct any hard crashes because like I have to decide whether or not I want to keep it. Or usually when I do buy something that crashes on me, I'm hoping that I bought like for expiration far away because one, it doesn't the time decay doesn't take out m- the majority of my thing, right? Two, the contract is still good enough to where like it stays within the um, to where volume is there for people to actually take it off my hands, right? If the volume isn't there, literally your contract is dead, and you probably won't be able to close it at all, and you have to wait for that the system to exercise it, and that's not a good thing. Yep. So, okay, so let's look into the future a little bit, right, to see what we're aiming towards. So I do see, like I keep saying, it's a bearish movement, and the reason why, okay, look, I'll tell you why it's a bearish movement, right? In general, it's going to be always bearish, right? For one, you have your all-time highs right here is at 760, right? It's too close to the all-time highs, right? So it's going to reject every line, price line that it's going to hit, right? So every time it hits a price line, just look forward to like taking the short position. You know what I mean? Because let's go. Um, okay, let's actually let me finish this. I'm moving in out too quick. All right. See, this is the all-time high, right? This is before June, so up here somewhere, right? And it was like 760, right? So this is zoomed out version of it, right? And then this is, if you look at the date down here, so this is before June, hit about all-time high about 760, right? Quarter report all the way to July, right? you know, good news, bad news, good news, bad news, right? Now, what happens is, um, I guess last night Trump was like, "Hey, ceasefire's done. That's why we got to crash." The reason I didn't, you know, I was looking for it to keep on rallying up, right? And we still see kind of a upward movement. If you look at the play here, um, let me see, the pencil here. I'll zoom in. All right, actually, let's do this. Yeah, if you look at, just look at the play here, right there, here. Um, okay, so it hit all-time low, right? So it goes um, all-time low, not all-time low, but for this period of time, right? So it didn't, like this right here is probably another all-time low. But like what I'm saying is that it was like pumping, pumping, pumping for almost like 3 months straight, right? And then you see then it hits a low right here, right? But it doesn't go all the way to like over here, right, or anything like that, because over here was probably when you had oh, I'm not gonna assume anything because I don't remember my history of what happened with with everything that happened um, as far as what do you call that? Things that happen like geographic, geopolitical, and history, current events, or anything like that. So yeah, I'm gonna close the door. It's way too loud. Um, but let's see. And then okay, so what I was saying is, look, um, you go here, right? And even though we had this like really weird long crazy drop right here, the majority of it hung around there, right? So I can't even call that like lower lows. I will call that higher lows, right? And then we're already at the end of that month already, right? June. So, and then July, right, is picking up steam again, right? We got another higher low over here. You know what I mean? So that's why I call it bearish bull, right? Because it's moving, kind of, it's rallying upwards, right? And the issue is also, right, even though it's rallying upwards, right, we're not even seeing a like higher highs, right? We're because it, it wants to go to the all-time high, but the all-time high is, for some weird reason, is scary, right? Because no one wants, if it peaks that high, it's just like unpredictable, you know what I mean? So everyone's waiting for the crash, right? So then we kind of see like this weird convergence going to lower highs. You know what I mean? All time high right there, and then we got a lower high right here, right? And then like right here, right? The setup right here. Oh, that's weird. My thing didn't move. My markings didn't move when this thing moved. Oh yeah, 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 it moved. Um, yeah, and then we got another lower high right here. You know what I mean? So we kind of got this weird kind of like, I wouldn't call it a channel pattern. I would call it a like um converging into a like probably like a really sideways, very small thing over here, right? And then what do you call that? Like some sort of like converging converging point or something like that, right? And then I would only assume, right, since we were at all-time high, once it converges to like a rally or that point, right, it's either gonna crash or it's gonna go up, right? I would assume if Trump is the way he is and he's exacerbating his what do you call that? We're gonna see the golden years or golden times, right? The age the age of the golden age, what we call it, right? I would assume it would just go up. That's if we listen to Trump like that, you know what I mean? But regardless if it goes up or down, right? I think it's gonna get to an all-time high again before it crashes. You know what I mean? So what is all-time high? Well, it has to beat this all-time high, and then it goes up even further, right? That's where the projection to go up, right? And so usually we don't know how much it'll go up, right? It'll probably go up like what 5, 10, if it passes all-time high, right? 5 to 10 units or dollar value, right? I wouldn't wait. I wouldn't, you know, assume that it's gonna go to like 20, 30. You know what I mean? 5 to 10. Looking at like 60, 61, 62, right? I think the highest is like 60 something, 60 point something, right? So we're looking at like maybe 65. You know what I mean? 765. You know, that's where I will pull out, right? And then depending on the size of your contract and how much is multiplied, right? Then, or how many contracts you buy, quantity wise, right? That's where you gain your money. But you know, that's that's just that's just what I think. That projecting to the future, that's what I think. But like I said, I mean, disclaimer wise, this is at your own risk. It's not financial advice, and yeah, we're just here for entertainment purposes, right? And for my personal trading. And y'all trying to copy my trades? Trust me, I don't stick to nothing sticks in stones, right? Like I don't etch anything in stones. I change and adapt to the situation every day and every minute and every second, right? So and every hour. So you can't say that I told you to do anything. I didn't. I really didn't. You know what I mean? If I'm flexible with my trades, you gotta be flexible with yours. But anyways, um, yeah, y'all. So I think this is it for me today. Thanks for joining me today with Daily Trades by Ren. Again, my name is Ren. Today is 7/8/2026. Have a good day, y'all. Peace.